Hello, you divine infinite human beings. You are all that is, ever has been, and ever can be. You are divine infinite love. You are divine infinite truth. You are divine infinite source. And what have they done to Facebook? This is really silly. Nobody hears me. Isn't that interesting? Boy, the plot thickens. I'd say we are in, the on the journey of the hero. If anyone knows anything about movies, films, plots, and the mythic story structure of Joseph Campbell, who Joseph Campbell pointed out so well to us, which is inherent in every story, every myth, every fairy tale, every novel, every film you've ever seen, we would probably be, entering what we call the innermost cave, really going into the dark stuff, beginning and coming face to face with our shadows, with our shadow self. Yes, everything is going on in the world around you. It's always an opportunity, a reflection for you to your journey within and your journey to come face to face with your own shadow. The shadow knows, with your fears, with your sorrow, grief, anger, frustration. And I'm sure a lot of that's coming up for people, even if they're pretending it's not, they're masking it because that's what we're being told to do. But it's important to feel these things. So I'm talking and nobody's on, and I don't even know if anyone's going to ever hear this, but I'll go ahead. Because I feel like it's important. I want to say this to my spiritual friends. I just did one in Italian for the Italians, and now I want to do this for those who are on the ascension path. Yes, we are entering the innermost cave, coming up to what is probably the darkest point, or what is known as the kiss of death, where really everything that everything you hold dear, you love, you hold sacred, is pulled from you. I know it sounds terrible, doesn't it? But it's just part of the evolution of life. It's inherent. You've gone through this before. It's called the dark night of the soul, but you do it every time you lose something. You did it when you were a child and you left your childhood toys behind, and you left maybe elementary school and you moved up to high school. You left home, maybe you went on to college or to get a job, when you got married. It's just rites of passage, really. And really what we are seeing, yes, there's on the lower level of duality, there's a huge, I always say the top is there we go, is the top apex of the pyramid, and down below is the world of duality. And you have to rise above the pendulum that swings to and fro, the good, bad, dark, light, happy, sad, up into the place of complete oneness with all things, and realizing that duality is an illusion. And I've been very, very active, many of you know, pointing out the outrageous injustices that are being pulled right in front of our eyes with absolutely no discretion whatsoever. It's been just outlandish. And I've been very outspoken because I think it was my job. I felt really called to do that, because the fact that this was such a snowed job, because all truth was being deleted and the masses were being so completely brainwashed into fear. And, I'll just say it again, the agenda is so obvious to anyone. And I think that if you're not seeing it now, you're seriously having cognitive dissonance, and you are choosing you're choosing to not see it. And that's your right, because thank God made us with free will. But if people are not realizing that COVID-19 is really just a tag word for the time we're in right now, this is a time for moving from the old world order. And if you didn't know that, there has been an old world order controlling this planet for eons, for a very long time, since the beginning of accepted history. And this old world order has used many different ways: black magic, dark magic, satanic rituals, traumatizations, mind control, all kinds of things to control the population through their representatives here on Earth, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call them. They've got lots of different names, the genetically engineered hybrids. And I'm writing a book right now, The Infinite Human, that has all complete, full disclosure of every little aspect of this. So you can put it to bed, so you can put it in your mind and get it all straight. So, because you really need to understand, the makings of our planet and of the old Earth. You really do. And have to know that it's been a put up job. And although we've had some wonderful times here, come on, we all have, it's really been a broken Earth. It has had this dark underbelly controlling and commanding and directing it for eons. And an eon is 1,000 years. So for roughly 26,800 years, a galactic year, has been going on. And now, as we're in an ascension cycle, as the vibration of the organic Earth is ascending into the fifth dimension, higher vibratory frequency, the old world order is stepping itself up into the new world order, which is total technological control, by placing a space fence around our planet and encapsulating us in a cage of satellites, and controlling the frequency by blanketing our Earth with mass of 5G, 6G, 7G. 5G is the tag word, but it's really all about completely encapsulating our planet in this lower frequency of to stop us from ascending to the higher frequencies. Basically that. We're in a war zone, whatever. The good news is our planet is already in this higher frequency and in the higher harmonic universe that we were pulled out of. So we are in the fifth dimension, organic Earth. You can go out and just be in nature and you can feel it. Now, the bad news is the dark forces that have controlled us do not want that. So they're doing everything they can. Everything. Not just putting the masks around, which they did during lockdown in secret, because most of the planet had said no to 5G rollout. They did it while we were muzzled at home, being safe, which is one of the reasons I was very adamant about no more lockdowns, because it wasn't going to take care of the situation, the COVID-19. It was only going to really create a pandemic. And, a lot of people say, oh, it's a hoax. I'm not saying it was a hoax in the sense that they didn't have the numbers that really justified it, the lockdown, but they needed the lockdown to position all the satellites and all, more than ever, the visible part of putting the antennas around. And I'm in Sicily, and overnight, I moved down here to get away from 5G, and overnight, all the antennas are everywhere. I've been all over this island. They are every single place. And they don't have to be a tower. Now, we're in our second lockdown, and they're putting little tiny, router boxes so that every single possible speck of this Earth is covered in this lower frequency. And the 6G will take the cyberspace and physical space, so we will not know, we'll be living in a hologram. We will not know if our Earth is burnt and scorched and all the trees, which do not transmit 5G, and which is why we've had them all burnt. We will not know if it is a hologram, like in Star Trek, you're in a holosuite, or not. And part of the climate control, of course, is to keep us off the earth so we can't see this happening, so we can't be with our organic mother. And then the next one is to get the technology inside us through vaccinations, through chemtrails, through our artificial food. So you guys really got to pay attention to what you're eating, through every means possible to get this metal inside of you so you become an antenna, and to get microchips, instead of credit cards, taking away the cash and making you have to put a credit card in your brain to buy stuff. I mean, it's a dark agenda to eventually have your organic body controlled by a hive mind so you cannot ascend. So you cannot reach these higher frequencies. That's the dark agenda. So if you don't understand it, if you have questions, my book will be out soon, The Infinite Human. I've been writing this for 30 years, and it describes all that in great detail. I cite studies and tests done by the University of Rome here, and what doctors have been saying, even though they've been muscled. So I'm tired of that. I'm finishing my book. So now it's time. We are actually seeing, though, there is a war going on, but we are also, fact, I think everyone knows that our planet will never be the same. The old Earth is gone. And yes, we've all, we've lived in the old Earth. It might have had its problems. Yes, it was always locked down. We've always been locked down. That's why we don't know about alien life, because we've been quarantined. We've been kept apart from the rest of the universe, and also our multidimensional nature has been downgraded, so we have not been able to use our true chip, our pineal, to surf the infinite. I always say, not the net. And they're trying to give us a bad copy. They're going to make us think freedom is going to be through technology. And of course, look at me. I haven't been doing this very much. I think you will know, because I've been turning off my technology, getting out of Facebook, and being in nature. I've been spending all my time in nature, and then writing, when I have to. So, and I suggest everyone does that. Take care of your own healing first. Get the metals out of your body. Find out how to do that. Try to become sensitive to these electromagnetic waves. And a lot of people say, God, you're so sensitive. I'm like, yeah, thank God I am, because I know how to get out of them. If you don't get out of them, you will just get so radiated, and you will be one of the first, these COVID-19 victims, because that's what they are there. COVID-19 is the tag word for the Agenda 21 genocide, which is now taking place through 5G frequency technology, which is a military weapon, all right? And they have frequencies that can do everything from pulling oxygen, water molecules out of the air, to creating hypoxia. And for me, I feel it right away if I just drive into a wave band of it, because I feel it immediately in the center of my head. Terrible headache, tired, dizzy, vertigo, lightheaded, nausea, diarrhea, and so I know to get out of it. So you've got to get out of it. You've got to start kind of protecting yourself against these EMF waves. That's very important. Get on the land. Get in nature, grounding yourself in nature. We are the guardians of the earth. And you know what? It's okay to grieve right now, because we are watching our earth as we know it totally destroy itself. I mean, not the organic earth. That's what we need to preserve. That is the real gold. And we've been tricked, scammed, duped into believing that plastic things from China, and building homes that we have to feed by going to jobs and work that we hate 24/7. Do you see how everything about our life has been scammed? And that's what I write about in my book, The Infinite Human. Everything is wrong, but of course we love it, because it's like, even if you're a child and you've been abused, they're still your parents. You love them, and we still love, like the Stockholm syndrome. We still love our abusers. We love them because that's all we've known. But we're going to have to let go of the myth of the good old days. And I have that too, sometimes we love the trauma. Oh, yes, no, does he love me? Doesn't he love me? Oh, the trauma, of duality. We've become addicted to duality. And even even addicted to being, stop this. Because when you get too much involved in the drama, they have you just right where they want you. And you're fighting. You need to rise above it, because the best fight, the best rebellion you can do is to simply withdraw and not feed the system. Don't buy the food that they're trying to the crap that they're trying to pass off as food. Don't let the banksters own your homes and buy these showcase homes with beautiful pesticide sprayed lawns, that you have to pay outrageous fortunes to heat and cool. Build homes. There's a whole new alternative lifestyle that's been going on for a long time, an organic one. And really, there's nothing new about it. It's ancient. And here in Sicily, I went into a property that was for sale. It was a cave home. I mean, people knew how to use the earth to protect them, to feed them, to nurture them. We need to go back to simplicity. You're worried about vaccinating your children in order to get into school? Well, for God's sakes, you've been indoctrinating them for years. I wrote a children's book about how schools are robbing our children of their creative sparkle. Start unschooling. Get some folks together. Come back into community. Get a few people, like-minded people together. Get some land. Grow some food. Educate your children. Create your own entertainment. We need to get back to the basics, the source of things, because it's all about connecting directly with source. Stop waiting for, a religious figure, a spiritual teacher, a political leader, political candidate to do it for you. It's not going to come from within the broken system. That's like Einstein said, we keep looking, if you keep looking to the same structures for the solutions, you'll never find them. That's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting it to change. We have to and this is a sad time, because you have to really grieve and feel the grief and let all the old systems, no Christmas this year. Well, look deeply at what Christmas is really all about, okay? I stopped celebrating holidays, over 20 years ago. Birthdays that are just counting your age. Everything we do in society has been about, feeding these satanic forces that have been in charge of our planet. So it's time for us to connect directly with source, mourn, the loss of these things, because they're like saying goodbye to childhood toys, your childhood Tinker Toys. And then once you can totally mourn them and grieve them and let go of them, you will have space to let in source and build from source in a very simple way, and build a new earth in the fifth dimensions and beyond, a new infinite earth. So it's okay. It's going to be okay. Just if you're grieving, just love yourself. Love yourself for grieving, because that's what the dark side is. It's teaching you so many things, and above all, to love yourself even when you don't feel great, because that's just part of life. Love you guys. Ciao for now, and I hope somebody hears this. I don't know if it works anymore. I'll see.